Welcome back to part 2 in the 3-part series, taking a look at BlackSuit Ransomware. This is the DFIR report we looked at in the last video. Today we're going to be recreating the attack. So we have the MITRE write-up over here, and over here we have our attack chain. So initial access, they did it with a Cobalt beacon. We're going to be doing it with SSH credentials. We're going to pretend that we have managed to source those somehow. Then we're going to go over to discovery, and we're going to do a system info like they did, NL test, net, just to poke around initially. Then we're going to do some credential access with ASP rep roasting, Kerberoasting, and LSASS memory dumps. Then we're going to go back to discovery, and we're going to do sharp hound. You need elevated privilege to do sharp hound, so we're going to have to come back to it after we've already gained some more credentials from our credential access step. Privilege escalation, we're going to do pass the hash with RDP, and then we're going to deploy our malware into the C dollar share. So let's just jump right into it. First of all, we're going to test out our SSH credentials, so we're going to SSH as John to our domain controller, and that's 192.168.1.52. And we're going to put in the password that we have gained somehow, and we are on. So we can do a DIR to check file systems, and we can do net users. These are just normal enumeration things. We can take a look at John, so net user John, and we can see he's not part of any groups, just normal domain user. If we go back to our net users command, we can see there are some interesting user accounts. So there's admin, administrator, guest, John. This is the default Kerberoast account, Louis, and SQL user. So SQL user looks a little bit interesting, so I've spoken to that. So net user SQL user. And we can see he is part of administrators, so if we can gain credentials to SQL user, that would be quite useful. And we can do system info. Access is denied, we're not an admin. We can try and look at things more closely, so with a tree command. And we can see there's actually nothing in here. So that's probably all the enumeration that we'll do in this first step. So if we go to our attack chain, we have gains initial SSH access. That's supposed to be a tick. There you go, that's better. And we've also done some local enumeration. So there's the first 2 steps, pretty easy steps. And then we're going to now go on to credential access with ASP rep roasting and LSASS memory dumps. So let's do that. First of all, let's do a Kerberoasting attack. So we are going to do get user SPN. So this is an npacket script, and it's like this, get user SPNs, and this is just going to do a Kerberoasting attack. So we have to put in our domain controllers, that's home.local, and then the password that we know, so that's John, and the password of password1. And we have to do it at our IP address, so 192.168.1.52. And this is going to list any service accounts, and it can't connect because we haven't put in our DCIP. So this is the domain controller IP address. There's also 192.168.1.52. And also invalid, maybe it doesn't want it in this format. So let's remove this. And there we go. We see a SQL user, and his service is I love SQL, and that's the SQL user over there. So this is an administrator, so if we're able to get this password and crack it, we will have administrative access on the machine. So let's try to do that with the -request flag, and this is going to request the hash over here. Now we have a hash. This isn't actually a hash, it's an encrypted string that's encrypted with a password, but we can crack it if we make nano hash. We already have one in there, so let's rn hash. Then nano it, and we can use hashcat with our hash file using rocku.txt-o for optimizations, and this is going to start trying to crack that password. And in just a minute we get the password of secret1. So let's make a file called creds, so nano creds, and we're going to put in SQL user and the password of secret1. So that is our first compromised account. Let's now try another npacket script to find users that don't have pre-authentication enabled. And for that one, we can do get np users, like so. And this should also work. And it found another account. Louis has this account with this hash, so we can try crack this one as well. Copy selection, go over here to our hashcat, rm the hash file, nano the hash file, paste it in, and get our commands back up and running. And we can see if this will crack. And we can let that run in the background, but just for now, we can go to our creds file, and we found the user Louis, and we have a hash for that account. So if we go back to our list of things that we would like to do, we have done AS rep roasting, we've done Kerberoasting. Let me fix that. We've done Kerberoasting, and now we want to do an LSASS memory dump. So to do that, we can use crackmac.exec with the credentials we just discovered. So if we do cat creds, we can see we have this SQL user who's an administrator, so he's going to be able to dump hashes. So let's just do crackmac.exec, so crackmac.exec SMB RIP address of 192.168.1.52 -u for user, SQL user, -p for password, and that's secrets 1. And we can dump the SAM hashes. Let's try with that first. And in just a moment it will dump those. We can see it gives us the pawn flag, and we have some accounts. This isn't what we want to find other ones. Maybe let's look at NTDS. And this gives us what we want. So now we have a whole bunch of different passwords and different hashes for different user accounts. So we have the Louis one, we have the John one, we have the SQL user one, and we have the admin one as well. So with all of this, we can now do a pass the hash attack and run sharphound on the box. So let's just go to our list of steps over here, and we can see we have done LSASS as well. Very bad at ticking today. LSASS as well. Now we want to do sharphound. So this is the next thing that we're trying to do. So in order to do sharphound, let's find a way of getting sharphound onto the box so then we can then run it. So if we go to our dub folder and we look around, we have sharphound over here. So this I've just installed from the GitHub repo, and it's very easy to install. What we're going to do is we're going to start a server on our machine. So we're going to do python-m http.server. Like that. It's going to start server. We're going to open another panel, and in this one we're going to SSH in as the SQL user. So we're going to do SQL user at 192.168.1.52 and the password of secret1. Okay, now we're on, so we can just take a quick look around, and there's nothing. So let's try get that file that we've just put on our HTTP server. So if we do curl and then our IP address, so HTTP 192.168.1.54, and 54 is the IP address of this machine that I'm on now, and on port 8000 we want to get sharphound.exe, and we're going to put it in an out file. We're just going to call it sharp.exe, and we can see we got it. And if we take a look around, we can see sharp over here, so we can now run sharp. So let's do sharp -c all. This can do all collection methods. And that's not how you run it in Windows. You just put it like this. We're back now. So the issue was that Windows Defender had flagged this as a malicious file, so I just went and allowed it on my remote machine. If you were actually doing a real pen test, you'd have to encode this somehow, and that's the good thing about Cobalt Strike, is it won't actually put the file on the disk, it will just run it in memory, but that is out of the scope of this video. So in any case, let's go back to our sharp command like this, and it's going to start running and dumping everything that we need. And it is now completed, so if we take a look at our directory over here, we can see we have a Bloodhound zip file, and the question is how are we going to get this on our own machine? Well, we do have access to SMB, so if we put this on the SMB share, then we should be able to download it to our local machine. So let's go about doing that. So we're going to do copy and then this file, so 202, and just let it auto-complete, type, and we're going to move it to our SMB share. So that's DC01. And we're going to put it in the setup share. So we're going to do setup, and we're just going to call it blood.zip. And it's been done. So now we can exit out of here. We can do SMB client. So SMB client, and then 192.168.1.52, and the setup share like so. And we're going to do -user SQL user. We did something wrong. The backslashes are in the wrong direction. So let's fix that like this. So, and actually also let's go into our DFIR file and let's run it again. And let's put in our password of secret1. Let's do an ls, and we can see our blood.zip right over here. So we can just get that, so get blood.zip, and we can exit with ls, and we can see we do have our blood.zip over there. So let's stop this server, let's start neo4j, so we're going to do sudo neo4j console, and that's going to start it up. And in this panel we'll start up Bloodhound, so Bloodhound, and it will take a moment to load. We'll cut back when it's done. Okay, it's done, and we're uploading all our data over here, so it's unzipping the file and it's going to start uploading it. And in just a second we will be able to take a look through all of that data. So let's start already. Let's go to analysis, and let's first of all try and look at shortest path to domain admins. Okay, we're going to clear this, close it, and this is quite a interesting little graph over here. So we can just see the different users that we have. So we have SQL user, we can mark this as owned, mark as owned. This one's the admin, we have the NTLM hash for this, so we can also mark it as owned. We can take a look at administrator, we don't have this one. We can take a look at Louis. We were trying to crack this one, so we don't have the password yet, so it's not marked as owned. But this is interesting. Let's take a look at admin, and let's look at node info and scroll down to group membership. And we can see what he's a member of. So he's a member of domain users, he's a member of administrators, remote desktop users, which is in string, and group policy and remote management users. So he can RDP, and we have his hash, and we can do a pass the hash attack to gain RDP access to the machine. So let's go back to our steps over here. We have now done a sharp pound attack, so we can mark that as finished. Actually, let's get rid of that, mark that as finished, and we now want to do a pass the hash attack. So let's go back to over here. We can stop Bloodhound, and we can stop our neo4j as well. And let's go and see if we can find where we've got the commands to get the admin hash, and let's rerun that again. And we can see over here we have admin over here, and this is the hash. So let's just copy this selection, and we're going to do x3 rdp with the username of admin, and we're going to do pass the hash, so pth pass the hash, paste in the hash over here, and -v to do the target, and that's 192.168.1.52. And we can see it is accepted, and we now have access to the machine over here, and we can look around, we can see what's going on. You can see there's VMs installed, there's Python scripts installed. Very interesting stuff. So let's leave that running for a little bit, and we're going to go on to our final phase of the attack, which is deploying malware. So we've done pass the hash, and now we're going to deploy the malware. So we're going to do that by uploading a startup script to the $share Samba share. So let's go into our dub folder, dub, like so, and ls, and this is the payload.bat that we have. So let's cat that out so we can see what it's going to do. Let's actually make this a little bit bigger and cat it out again. We can see it's going to set the wallpaper. So I've set the wallpaper as this hard-coded string. It's going to set a registry key, and it's going to change the wallpaper to our wallpaper. We're obviously not actually going to deploy ransomware. We're just going to be changing the wallpaper to let people know that they have been hacked. So let's go about putting that on the Samba share. So we're going to do SMB client 192.168.1.52-C $ with our SQL user, and the password, ls, and startup scripts are stored in, if we go into the directory of program data like this, and then Microsoft, Windows, startup menu, go enter. Oh, we need quotes around this, like so. And if we just do a dir, we can see the into programs, and then startup, and dir again, and we can see these are the startup scripts. So we're just going to put our payload.bat, and we're going to put our wallpaper, so wall.jpg, and we're going to exit. I'm going to go back to our RDP session over here. We're going to log out and then log back in, and the malware should be loaded. So we're going to sign out. This is going to end our RDP session. We'll go back to this pane over here, log back in, and if all goes to plan, we should see a different wallpaper. And in just a second, while everything loads, this is all the startup scripts loading. Let's see if we can see if anything's happening. Any seconds. And there we go, our new wallpaper has been loaded. Homer Simpson saying, whoa, all this computer hacking is making me thirsty. So that's the video. We've now completed all the steps. So we can tick off this last one, and we've gone down the list. We've done absolutely everything. So in the next video, we're going to be taking a look at the logs that this created and how it can be prevented and different security measures you can implement. See you in the next one.